Hello. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you are now.
Fast.
Yeah, this is Vishwas. Just wait for the panelists for 5 minutes. We will join.
Okay.
Hi Suresh.
Hi.
I think I'm on the mute.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, Suresh, my name is Prahlad. I'm going to have a technical evaluation with you, and I would like to know about your profile, Suresh. Can you go ahead with your like introduction and like let me know that like what are all technology that you worked on till now and how many years of experience you carry with the DevOps?
Hi. Thank you this opportunity. I have overall experience of my relevant experience in DevOps has been
So,
years
sorry,
of
come again. Like it was stuck. Sorry, Suresh, it was stuck. Can you like rephrase how many like with years you with DevOps?
it is relevant in 3.3.
See.
It is the agile and the DevOps methodology. The build and release functionality for this is the functionality for the bag. Coming to the skill set, hands-on experience, provision expression tool is like to. I am good in Jenkins and CI. An experience of experience of getting an hands-on experience with our current Kubernetes service, an experience of AWS in Terraform, AC, to build an infrastructure of. I have good knowledge about the technical. My day-to-day activity and roles. It Jenkins CI/CD process and multi-branch pipe and release, working with map, generate artifacts in binary repository. Also, any issue can that is the way it is.
Okay, great. Uh, so I should like address you as a Suresh, right?
Yeah,
Or Suresh. Suresh, how like good you're with Unix and Linux commands or the like interaction with
yeah.
how like how was your how is your exposure with Unix? I mean to say like
It's basically
like what were
into
you
yeah, yeah. It's
have you
primarily
ever
using
worked
in
on the Linux or Unix?
Linux, Red Hat.
Okay. Red Hat you worked on. Okay, great. Well, like what sort of like interaction, like what sort of work that you used to perform while working with Unix?
Basically, my side is the build and release functionality. Anytime the application is suppose is Jenkins server as well as running in the Linux boxes, but
Let's say that like I
that
want
is
to update the like OS. Which command I will use?
the updation of the OS.
Yeah, from the terminal. Which command I will use?
Basically, I'm checking the logs, checking the message backend of the application is running or not. Side is early.
Okay.
Basically, it is the application servers are is the
Let's say
project
that
based
there
of
is a server. Let's say that there is a server. You got the server name. Okay. You want to check whether the server is up or not. How would you check?
the process is taking top comment.
Like no, that is for like internal process. But like I want to check the other server or other application which is kind of Linux server Okay, you want to check the status of that particular server, like which is connected to your current server, and you want to check the status of that, like whether it is working or not, like whether the what is
Yes,
the
it's
status, it is
connection.
the services and offer or not, huh? How will you check? Which command you will use?
It is the ad hoc command is Ansible. The particular uh, not
No, I mean to say
checking
that from by using the like Unix command,
just ping particular.
being the right. Okay, okay. Uh, let's say that like I want to check the space, like what are the total space available on a disk. Okay, how will you check?
df hyphen h.
Df-h. Okay, okay. Can you tell me what is the like default port number for FTP?
um, TP.
Yeah, what is the default port number for FTP?
Post it is checking for which open netstat. It is basically and that type of activities are doing the way what is IP address.
Yeah, but like, do you know the default port number for FTP or the SSH or TCP,
Yes,
any of it?
it's 22.
Okay, FTP you do not recall, right? How about like TCP? Do you have any idea about TCP?
Connected to the SSH.
All right, how
Basically,
about
yeah,
self-scripting? Have you ever used the self-scripting? Like, have you ever interacted with the self-scripting?
not interacted with that particular. Only I am understanding about the knowledge.
But do you know
The
that like how the self-script build, right?
yeah, yeah, I am
If
understanding
I
about the
ask
self.
you, if I okay, let's say that if I ask you that like inside this self-script, while any script we are writing, we write the like shebang line, right? Like first line.
Shebang line.
Yeah. Do you know
Yeah,
what purpose we write it?
the path-based authentication. The path to run the script
Okay. Okay. But like what which path means like what?
is the bin bash. That is the user bin bash. Actually, that is the user acceptance running of the root or user list of path the script.
Okay. Let's talk about Git. Okay. Tell me about Git pull and Git fetch. What is the difference? Moreover, I'm asking you. Give me an example if you know.
The Git which is the content is downloading from Git. Uh, you are asking for pull.
Git pull and Git fetch. Both the command I'm asking.
Yes, pull pull to the local 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 branch local branch to the remote repository. Pull and Git fetch.
I didn't get you. I didn't get you. Local repository remote, something you mentioned. I couldn't trace it. Can you rephrase your answer, please?
The Git pull the, the local repository, the local current branch to the remote branch.
Okay. And how about like Git fetch?
Git fetch is the remote repository to the content is local repository.
Okay, fine. All right. In what like you must be having idea about Git rebase, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In what situation you're using Git rebase?
Git rebase is the rebase of the code work is complete particular current branch to merge the master.
Means like what the what do you understand by Git rebase? Revising What do you understand by revising?
The complete of the work in current branch based to the code in master branch.
Okay. Okay. Can you tell me that like what is the difference between like okay, tell me about like git reset or git revert, more of the difference.
Git revert is the who can question of regain again about the revert can ask git diff comment.
Uh, git reset and git revert both count. I'm asking you like what is the
Yes,
like,
yes.
difference?
It is the git reset is basically it is the reset in soft hard default for you can delete the deletion of the reset command the entire work to and the git revert is the process um, uh, again to create a branch that is the
Mhm. Do you know the process of merge conflict?
yeah
What is it? Can you tell me?
the merge conflicts actually um, same branch to work with that branch generated how can do it particular take that particular importance of the code meaning to delete that to merge that particular
How do we resolve?
that is the resolving of that is uh, but it is conflicts the same kind of branch conflicts that is the resolving for the first to collaborate so
So
that
you
making
mostly like you worked into the Azure DevOps, right?
AWS develop
AWS DevOps. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay, just a second. All right. Let's talk about like uh, where do you store CI/CD pipelines?
storage of CH for asking for
Sorry? Yeah, where do you store CI/CD pipelines?
it
I'm
basically
asking about you that like you must be working on the pipelines, right?
yeah
So normally where do you store pipelines?
basically and multi branch pipeline the Jenkins to run that pipeline the pipeline is storing in not a separate data a storing of separate mention that data it is basically the pipeline is running for the updation of the environment of storing of artifacts. There is no pipeline, does not the
Okay.
artifacts is
What type of Jenkins job that you worked on?
the multi-branch pipeline.
Only multi-branch that you used to work, right?
Yeah,
How about like freestyle jobs and all? Have you ever interacted?
it is the Maven projects are there, not a free. Actually, it is a multi-pipeline branch is created on top of the Jenkins Docker file.
Okay, tell me multi-branch pipeline. What is it?
The multi-branch pipeline consists of the different two types of pipelines. That is the declarative and pipeline. For the declarative pipeline, also a way to implement declarative. The declarative pipeline is a different the four-stage process. Primarily, the branch private gives ID to clone and test it Selenium process, and also then build it
You
on the
mentioned that like pipeline, like scripted pipeline and declarative pipeline. Okay.
declarative pipeline.
So how are they different? Like what is scripted pipeline? What is declarative pipeline?
The scripted pipeline is it is the programmatic.
Uh-huh.
The declarative pipeline able to the declarative for the different state of there. This creating is very simple to
Mm.
is the also you can mention that server is the pipeline generated, that is way to get the uh, on top of that branch.
Okay. Can you explain me the master slave architecture?
It is the master slave architecture. Actually, the loads carries to uh, of submitting. That is the basically you can connectivity of the particular user based authentication, authorization authentication. Certainly, on top of that global tool, this slave the slave missions running of that ops is running and master is submitted to the one job, that is the master slave.
Okay. Let's have some like practical evaluation. Okay. Okay. Oh, share me a screen and open Notepad. Okay.
Okay, get this.
Yeah. Open a Notepad. Mm-hmm. Oh, write me down the declarative pipeline. You mentioned that like majority of time you work with the declarative
Yes,
pipeline,
yes.
right? All right. So write me down the declarative pipeline for uh, adding the new tool to the pipeline. Okay.
Your expectation is
Like adding the new tool. Okay. I want to add the new tool. Okay. Let's say that like JDK 5.7. I want to add a new tool. Okay.
yeah.
How will you? How will you like
Pipeline is majorly
by
is
using pipeline?
yes, yes. Pipeline is majorly using for the raw code is packed in artifacts. That is basically using. So you are
But like
yes, yes.
for
You are
adding also we can use, right?
that is adding in artifacts after that creating in
Okay, I want to install that JDK by using pipeline. How do I do that?
the server base. The JDK is on top of
Okay, write me
Docker
down a
container. Yes,
simple
yes.
pipeline that like structure. How,
Okay, okay.
Oh yeah. Okay, sample like for Maven. Okay, for Maven. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Next to test stage.
Mm-hmm.
And then pipeline.
Mm-hmm. What will be the next step? You can tell me.
Stage is deploy,
Okay.
steps considered to the provide containerization application, the login IDs,
Uh-huh.
the Docker is used.
Okay. Do not close this notepad. We have something else to write ahead. Okay.
Okay,
Let's talk about Docker. Okay.
yeah,
Are you aware of like Docker commands? How
yeah.
often you are using with the Docker commands?
For writing in the
Okay.
uh,
Let's say I want to enter inside the container. How do I do that?
what
I want to enter inside the container. Which command I will use?
the display of the content.
I want to enter inside the container. Okay.
Okay, okay. Docker.
Which?
So
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
the Docker
Why can't I see you? Okay.
Docker
Just like.
Docker execute hyphen I container ID dash.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. Let's say I want to free up some space from the container. Which command I will use?
Container free of space.
I want to free some space from container.
Basically, is the container volume is mounted to the particular
Mhm.
that is the storage of
Can you write me down a simple like sample Docker file
yeah,
on a notepad that open?
RAM used for that you can choose for base of OS
Mhm.
and to OS comes to creating the Tomcat
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Can you tell me about CMD? What is CMD?
CMD is a command that that is the commands to overwrite it. CMD is
What is entry point?
entry point is for the container creating after executing the command. That is the advance to the CMD.
How they are different from each other?
Basically, it is the CMD is the overwrite it. It is the command to overwrite it. CMD and entry point. I'm example that way. Um,
Okay. Can you
so
share me some challenges, like tough situation you have faced while working with the container and you have addressed them?
yeah, it is the production side one situation that deployment of one branch is it is the built-in container. So it is the Docker file is created to deploy into the other one. That time to it is the containers you running in the inside of the pod. The pod the inside of the containers is same port number. That time to is the tag proof of it is the particular message is displayed. The same port numbers to not access to the outside the world. That is the production.
All right. Let's talk about some Kubernetes. You mentioned that like you also had exposure with Kubernetes, right? How good you with like Kubernetes? Like how was your interaction though? Like let's say that like out of like inside the like DevOps tool, how was your like interaction with Kubernetes or like Terraform? Like sorry, yeah, Swarm.
Is the basically I am working with package.
Mhm.
It is the pipeline to deploy into the deployment section. Any application to run and write it to the manifest file. It is simple way to implementation of Helm chart is created the almost all package of the manifest files of creative application and to take the manifest file include of the Helm charts. The Helm chart is more better features and advanced way to of the Docker container.
Okay, if I ask you some like questions related with Kubernetes, like what
Yeah,
are the like nodes and cluster, uh, pods?
yeah.
What are those?
Basically, Kubernetes is the container orchestration tool and is running of containers is the health checks, scale up and scale down, updates of different versioning. Uh, the Kubernetes is a better way containers the zero downtime. It is basically to the master and nodes architectures of APS controller and
Yeah,
etc.
but like what is pod? Pod, what is pod?
Pod is some empirical member of Kubernetes, the base of running of the country.
Mhm. Okay. All right. In case of replica set, okay, if pod specified in the selector field doesn't exist, okay, will the replica set wait for them to run before doing anything?
It is already mentioned to the replica set in particular pod certain a particular node certain pods are running primarily it is the deployment
Mhm.
but there is no one is created or deleted. Any creation is not rejected. Creation they again created the pod. The
Can you
personal.
describe me when you create a service? What happened when you create a service in Kubernetes?
Yeah.
Okay.
That it is the services. It is the communication between the cluster. It's the clus- cluster IP. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, I'm listening.
It is the services based on cluster IP is node port and load balancer. This is the three type of services Kubernetes.
Which are those?
Is the cluster IP is communication inside of the Kubernetes cluster. The communication of pods and pods inside of the containers is it is the IP addresses are there. The pod IP addresses communicate inside of the outside the access to the these pods. You can node port to enable that outside of the cluster access to the end.
Okay. Okay. How to create deployment manifest file?
Yeah, is the creation of a deployment man file is YAML.
Can you like take a NG like NGINX as example? Can you write me down inside
Yeah,
the
yeah,
notepad?
yeah. First, you can mention four components. App version, the resources, take the resource,
Mm-hmm.
the kind is the deployment. After that, metadata. Indentation is very important. Name, deployment.
Yeah, I get that. Suresh,
Yeah.
let's move on to the next one. Can you tell me about like how good you with like Ansible or Terraform?
Ansible.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah, I'm asking about Ansible. You're using the Ansible, right?
Yeah.
Or not? Can you tell me about include task and import task? What is it? What are those like used for? Import and include task. Oh,
Uh,
moreover, the like difference I'm asking. Okay.
okay. Okay. Basically, task is include of different case and playbook. The playbook goals. Task. Basically you can prepare task is different case. The packages you
Okay. Okay. Can you write me some sample playbook or Terraform like a .tf file?
not TF5.
Like playbook, like sample playbook or Terraform, like Terraform file. Okay.
I am writing playbook.
Okay.
Just can ML format hyphen host can prefer the host host or looking entry choose node one the developments function that way. It is also you can total all node and all host the uh, PPD package. Use the module in M module. After configure the HT package, copy module,
Can you tell me what is inventory?
inventory is basically stored in IP addresses and fully qualified domain name.
Mm-hmm. And what is role component?
The role components basically instead of different the configuration advantage of the playbook. for templates and variables and tasks, different modules taken that role. Role is
Mhm.
different and inventory is different.
What is module?
Module is it is some piece of package and software, the access to the node servers, communication after node servers, implementation of the, it is
So
the
like, can
M.
you like, let's say that like I want to include all of this, like, okay, task, inventory, module, playbook, and role component. What are all these? Like, how are they related to each other? How they like? What is the relationship
It
in
is the
between?
relationship between the playbooks is written that host the inventory.
Mm.
It is the module, M module. To take the this copy module is written. After that, service module is taken. The
Mhm.
module. This is the package. With the run of the playbook, you can use the servers and IP addresses, the nodes. The the software is that particular. It is the message of ping pong the master node. But way to implement
How do you structure your Terraform project?
the Terraform project is the IAM role. Uh, Different users access to the different AWS. That is majorly the different local uh, local servers are there in Terraform to inbuilt to the particular access to the IAM role to resource individually.
Okay. Okay.
Source and destination.
Okay. Let's talk about some like AWS part. Okay.
Yeah,
Can you explain what are all services that you worked on with AWS?
it is the actually this means load balancer,
Mm-hmm.
web services, HTTP way to.
Can you explain me what is like most frequently used the service that you're using then?
It is services means Kubernetes load balancer is used service.
What is 2x2 checks?
Is the 2 by 2 checks is instance checks, the system and is a hardware check and system OS check.
Uh, So like 2x2 that like comes under the like status check, or I mean, like like is it into the like is it to console, you mean to say?
Yeah, yeah. Is the 2 by 2 checks means um, uh, two checks are passed. Instance is hardware and soft OS is working fine.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's say that like you while choosing any region, okay.
Yeah.
What do you consider that like where which like how do you like choose the region? Like what consideration you take while choosing the region?
Reason is the particular US East one concept
Mm-hmm.
AWS terminology.
Mm-hmm. How do you migrate EC2 instance from one region to another region?
It is basically the creation of the particular just to use to convert the image, mission image, the required packages that image is converted to the one the region, that is a particular region to one mission image, one region after that convert to the image. That is the way possible way.
Okay. What are like serverless services in AWS?
Um, uh, serverless serverless means it is the lambda function not used.
Suppose your client asks you to give access to database in which you wants to see the data. Okay, will you give him the access, or like do you have policies for giving access?
It is basically the access to private subnet or public subnet. The access to the resources or database.
Mm. Okay, so database access actually.
Database access is the bastion server through connectivity of private subnet. Connectivity
Oh,
or it enter into that database.
do you know about DynamoDB?
Yes, this is the database.
Okay, so how it is different from Amazon S3?
S3 is it is a storage object storage in AWS. Different objects means is any format of the file used to store that buckets format.
Mhm. Okay, I want to scale. Okay, vertically Amazon instance. How do I do that?
So vertical scaling is nothing but configuration about the scale up, scale down. It is the instance types GT2. That is the way to vertical. I am practically implemented. It is I am talking about that better way.
Okay. Well, when creating a new VPC, there is an option called tenancy. Okay.
Okay,
What is it used for?
idea about top of to migrate the VP, the pairing of VPs, not
Okay.
idea.
Mhm. You have been asked to design an architecture for high performance, okay, and
Okay,
low latency application. Okay. Which load balancer would you use?
for high availability or delay of
My question is like you have been asked to design an architecture for high performance, okay, low latency. Low latency. You understood the low latency means, right?
yeah
Which load balancer would you choose or use?
in application load balancer.
Mm-hmm. All
Basically,
right. Well, so
I'm
that's all
using
from my side for the day as of now. Okay.
and one
I'm lacking
question.
with the time. I have another interview, so I might need to end here. Okay.
My question, one question.
Yeah, yeah, you can go ahead.
The what project structure is what happened project.
We are looking for the like candidate. This is L1 round for you. Okay. We are looking for the candidate who's working with the, like AWS or Azure DevOps on the basis of their like performance. We are willing to for the job. We are expecting the guy who's like good with the Kubernetes, like and Docker and all. Okay, DevOps mostly. Yeah,
You take the next round is
yeah, we'll see that. Like this session is anyhow recording. Let me like
okay.
check that. Like what are all answer you? I need to check your complete evaluation, right?
Yeah.
Then I will decide. What I'll do, I'll cascade your evaluation to the consent team, and HR will get back to you. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Have a good day. Bye.